Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. The distinguished guest, Kolonel Kehormat Pertahanan Awam, Tuan Haji Abdul Muhaimin bin Osman, the Director of IPG Campus Perlis, Puan Ahnizah binti Arsyad, the Deputy Director of IPG Campus Perlis, Puan Ernie binti Adnan, the Head of Language Department, IPG Campus Perlis, Puan Nur Azrawati binti Ahmad Zudi, the Coordinator for Highly Immersive Program HIP, IPG Campus Perlis, the Head of Departments, the Head of Units, lecturers and staffs of IPG Campus Perlis, HIP committee members, student teachers, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to welcome all of you to the Read and Share program for 2021, organized by the English Studies Unit of the Language Department, IPG Campus Perlis. I am Wan Nur Nadhirah binti Wan Sehabudin from Pismp Semester 2 Tesl B, and I will be the Master of Ceremony for today. For your information, this program is held specially for the lecturers, staffs, and student teachers of IPG Campus Perlis to inculcate the reading habits among them. Alhamdulillah, 48 participants had took part in the program, which consists of 15 lecturers, 20 PISMP, and 13 PPISMP student teachers. Today, 9 participants will share the review of the books that they read. You can also watch the remaining 39 recorded book reviews in the HIP, IPG KPS official YouTube channel during your free time. Ladies and gentlemen, let us start off today's program with a montage on Let's Read and Share Program 2021. Enjoy! Ladies and gentlemen, please lend your ears on the speech delivered by our distinguished guest, Kolonel Kehormat Pertahanan Awam Tuan Haji Abdul Muhaimin bin Osman, the Director of IPG Campus Perlis. Sir, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning to all the lecturers and students who are present here today. Alhamdulillah, we give our thanks and gratitude towards the Almighty because due to His blessing and mercy, we are able to gather today for the Let's Read and Share program organized by the English Studies Unit of the Language Department, IPG Perlis Campus. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate all the lecturers from the English Studies Unit of the Language Department, IPG Police Campus, for having accomplished their aim of producing a book review summary compilation, and also for having organized this Let's Read and Share program today. Congratulations also goes to all the other lecturers and students from the other departments who have contributed to the success of the book compilation as well as on the holdings of the event today. In its continuous effort to create change and educational progress, specifically in the betterment of the English language proficiency among the staff as well as the students of the IPG Police Campus, the administration of the campus has always been willing to give support and a helping hand to ensure the success of their programs. Therefore, it is my sincere hope that this program will generate more interest among the staff and students in this institution to explore more materials in the English language as well as to inculcate reading habits among them. In relation to this, I am representing the administrative leadership of IPG Police Campus who would like to congratulate once again those who have involved in today's program and sincerely hope that the benefits gained through this program will become a launching pad towards further excellence. That is all from me. Therefore, I end my speech with Wabillahi Taufiq wa Hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.
Thank you, sir, for the speech. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the first presenter, Muhammad Arif bin Ahmad Lutfi from PISMP Semester 2 PJK to deliver his review for the book he read entitled Weathering With You by Makoto Shinkai.
Who cares if you don't see the sunshine again? I want you more than any blue sky. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Arif bin Ahmad Lutfi, or you can call me Arif Lutfi. Today, on this occasion, I would like to share a book named Weathering With You, or in Malay, we also know as Gadis Cuaca. Weathering With You was written by Makoto Shinkai, the famous and favorite writer from Japan, and it also contains 263 pages and 11 chapters. This book also has element adventure, fantasy, comedy, and romance. Weathering With You, published by Kadogawa Gempak Start Sedian Berhad. This book tells a story about a very naive 16 years old runaway named Morishima Hodaka, a teenage boy simply trying to live a normal life in Tokyo, Japan. Without any money, with no place to go, Hodaka eventually runs into a small-time publisher who he begins to work and live with. He falls in with Kisuke Suga, a tabloid writer who gives him a place to stay in exchange for being his assistant. Throughout, he keeps crossing paths with Hina, a girl who we learn has the power to summon sunshine with a prayer. Hodaka and Hina start a business, setting up a website where the netizens of Tokyo can request the sunshine girl come to their neighborhood so they can finally have a bit of blue sky for a day. That means a lot of them, such a wedding, a birthday party, also a sporting event. But unfortunately, there is a price to pay for this, one that neither Hodaka or Hina are aware of at first, and it forced them to make a terrible choice. The good points that I can be found in this book: first, the interaction between the character is what made the book and storyline is so enjoyable. One example of character development can be found is Keisuke Suga. He is 45 years old writer who takes Hondaka into his own home because he sees his younger self in Hondaka. One day, when Hina disappears, Hondaka does everything in his power to search for her, even going against the police. However, when Keisuke feels the blow of Hondaka passion, he remembers that he himself was once in Hondaka position, and eventually hold back the police to let Hondaka go. This has made me think of Keisuke as if he were an adoptive father to Hondaka because of his very understanding attitude and always helping if Hondaka is in trouble. Second, thing you notice about Weathering with You is how beautiful it is. The writer tried to describe the actual state of the building as well as the community while in the city of Tokyo, such as rain streaked down on the commuters bustling into Shinjuku station, and Anoto line cuts through Shibuya streets. Indirectly made me imagine as if I was being in the city of Tokyo. Next, the bad points I can find in this book is the storyline is the storyline is easily and nice and understood by every category of society, but I think it is not suitable for children. This is because instead there are no violence elements, but the sentence structure and combination of several parts in this story may be difficult for children to understand. And also, there are no picture or animated graphic that may be difficult for children to understand and read interestedly. Even so, the book has also been adapted in film form, and this allows children as well as adults to watch together. Overall, I give it a rating 4.5 red stars. Also, highly recommend this book to all of you. You can get this book at any bookstore or buy it online. But if you can find this book, you can also watch the movie on any internet site such as Netflix, Iki, or Telegram. So that's all for me. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you, Arif, for the insightful review. As the saying goes about reading, he that loves reading has everything within his reach. Next, please welcome Nurul Qamarina Binti Bakri from Pismp Semester 2 Tesl A to review the book entitled Follow Me Back by A.V. Geiger.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello and a very good day to all of you. It's such a lovely day, isn't it? A lovely day for me to share with you guys about my favorite book. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Nurul Qamarina Binti Bakri and I'm from Pismp Tesl A. So for today, I would like to review a book called Follow Me Back by A.V. Geiger. Now let's start with the genres, shall we? So in the genres there are romance, mystery, and also thriller. From the genres you can tell that it was such an interesting story that I'm sure you guys will like it. Now let me tell you about the synopsis of the story so that you guys will know a little bit about the story and how the story was about. So this book is about Tessa Hart, who was confined to her bedroom with acrophobia. Her one escape is the online fandom for pop sensation, which is Arifin, the other main character of this story. So you might think that Arifin loved his fan, but actually he was frightened by his obsessive fan. They take their devotion way too far. When a fellow pop star is murdered at the hands of a fan, Eric knows that he has to do something. He has to do something to stop his obsessive fan from doing something that he might die. So his plan was to make a troll account, which was called Erickson Sucks. And he planned to troll Tesl, which is the other main character of this story, because Tesl was like the #1 fan. But it unexpectedly evolves into an online relationship deeper than either could have imagined. At first, he was about to troll Tesl, but then, after they keep chatting with each other, he feels that he has a deep connection with Tesl. But when the two arrange to meet in real life, it suddenly takes a deadly turn. This is when the mystery and thriller came, a deadly turn, and that's for you to find out. Now let me tell you guys about my favorite character. Out of all characters in this book, I like Erickson the most. Okay, so first of all, he was so strong. As a pop star, he can do anything on his own. He had to ask his manager first, but then his manager does not let him do something. But I like the fact that he still managed to stay strong, even though he was convinced he can do anything as a pop star. But yes, I still like that he was so strong. Next, I like that he stand up for himself. Even though he was forced to do something, but at least he has the will to stand up for himself by saying, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this. But even though he was forced, but still, he has the will to stand up for himself, to do what's wrong or what's not right. And then I like that he was so smart. He can think of a way to stop his obsessive fan from doing something he does not like, and then trick his manager into letting him do something he wants. Now enough about that, let me share with you guys about my favorite scene. Out of all the scenes in this book, I honestly like the ending of this story, which was when they have an honest talk with each other in the car after knowing about Taylor's real self. So Taylor, of course, she was so shocked that the one that she has been chatting in Twitter all this time was actually Erickson, his favorite pop star, her favorite pop star. While for Eric, he was blown away by Taylor. He felt that, she was so beautiful. And I like that he can have an honest talk after knowing that in face to face. And I feel happy that they can finally have their own happy ending after having the whole fiasco and creepy stalker thing. And now let me share with you guys about agoraphobia. This is something that I learned by reading this book. It seems unfamiliar, right? Yes, it is. So at first, I thought that Tesl was actually exaggerating things when she said that she has agoraphobia. But then after I read it, I understand that agoraphobia is a type of anxiety disorder in which you fear and avoid places or situations that might cause you to panic and make you feel trapped, helpless, or embarrassed. So in this story, most of the setting took place in Tesl's house only because Tesl refused to go outside because of an incident that happens a few years ago. If you want to know what happened a few years ago, then you need to read this story. Now, we have come to an end, and let me rate this book. Honestly, I would give it 10 out of 10. Yes, it might seem too much, but I would say that the plot, the character, the scene, it was all just too good, and I'm sure you'll like to. I would recommend this to everyone that likes romance, mystery, or maybe thriller, and anyone that does not like romance but still want a little bit of mystery and thriller. I'm sure this is the beginning for you to learn and to read about romance, because I'm sure you will enjoy it, because there were many plot twists and something that you do not expect at all. So if you don't want to buy this book, it's okay, because this book was available in Wattpad. So you can open an app called Wattpad, Wattpad, and you can search it out by looking at Follow Me by Evie Kraker, and I'm sure you can read it without even buying it. And I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nurul Qamarina. It is such an interesting book review. For the third review, let us call upon Shamimah binti Mukhtar from Pismp Semester 2 BNK. The book she is sharing with us was written by Ayuni Shafiqah entitled You Own My Heart.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shamimah binti Mukhtar. I am from Guidance and Counseling A class. I love reading novels. So today, I would like to share a book review about a novel that I read. So this is one of novels that I read that I love the most. The title is You Own My Heart by Ayumi Shafiqah, who is my favorite author. This book has 549 pages and 60 chapters. So back to our book review. The main character of these novels are Qarissa and Zafrie. Qarissa had just come back from overseas after graduating. She had a wild lifestyle, such as clubbing and hang out with her friends. She is a stubborn woman because she never listened to her parents' advices, especially her father, Datuk Rashid. She had a dark history when she studied abroad, causing her trauma to this day. Meanwhile, the hero is Zafrie. He is son of Datuk Rashid's friend. He is a man with a good heart that genuinely loves Qarissa. Unfortunately, he is an ill-tempered person. Next, I will tell you the summary of this novel. Since Qarissa came back home from overseas, she had a wild lifestyle. She always sneaking out every night with her friend and going clubbing until the morning. Both of her parents are worried about her. Her father, Datuk Rashid, is always nagging her about her lifestyle. He will always get mad with Qarissa because she never listens to him. Gradually, she became worse. She never came to the office and always came home when it was done. Then, Datuk Rashid thought of a way to change his daughter's behavior. He decided to ground his daughter for a month as her punishment. She will not be allowed to drive her own car, and she has to go to the office with her father or her sister. Unexpected moment happened on the first day she met with her enemy Zafrie. Zafrie is her father's employee, who is the son of her father's friend. Zafrie had fallen in love with Qarissa for the first time they met. So, it started with a frenemy situation between them since she started working at her father's office. One day, Zafrie proposed to Qarissa and she said yes for the sake of her parents. Then it started a love-hate relationship between them, and it became a mission for Zafrie to make Qarissa fall in love with him. Making Qarissa fall in love with him is not an easy mission. She is a very hard-hearted person due to her own dark history which nobody knew. She never told anybody about her dark history. Zafrie is the sweetest man. He always pampers her wife with all his heart. Soon, Qarissa falls in love with her own husband. Unfortunately, in the next marital challenge, both of them lose. It became worse when both of them could not tolerate each other when Zafrie discovered Qarissa's dark side. He did not give any chance to her to explain herself. He becomes mad with her and he chases Qarissa out of their house. Qarissa feels betrayed and disappears to a place which no one knew. Qarissa fades away from her husband, and at the same time, Zafrie knew the truth. So the ending will be a happy ending and they will live happily ever after. Next, the moral of the story, which are good points and bad points that I learned from this novel. First of all, the good points of this story is the character teaches us to be patient. It has been portrayed by Zafrie when he keeps trying to make Qarissa fall in love with him. He never stops to make Qarissa get butterflies every time she looks into his eyes. It makes Zafrie keep running through her mind. Secondly, I learned about trust. It has been portrayed by Qarissa. She trusts her husband even when her husband has been slandered. As example, she gave her husband a chance to explain himself about the message received by the stranger. She gave the chance because she knew that her husband would not cheat on her. For me, trust is an important element in a relationship because love does not work without a trust. Next, the bad point I learned through reading this novel is reckless. We should not be a reckless person in any situation. It is because we would regret with the decision that we made. As example, Zafrie did not give Qarissa any chance to explain herself when her dark side revealed. So, Zafrie decided to chase his own wife out of their home. Then he regretted with his decision when he found out the truth about his wife. While we are angry, we'll be in a subconscious and tend to make an irrational decision. It would be better if we calm down before making a decision. Lastly, the bad point of this story is irresponsible. We should not be such an irresponsible person running away from trouble. As example, Qarissa ran away from her husband because she does not want to solve the problem. It is because she feels she is not appreciated by her husband. She disappeared from her husband and all his family members. It shows that she is not brave enough to face her own problem. It should that we should face with our problems bravely because solving our problems is one of our responsibilities. This novel's genre is drama. It is filled with conflict, romance, sadness, and betrayal. No one should miss reading this book as I believe all of us could relate with this novel. In my opinion, this book gives me a new perspective about love and marriage life. Marriage life is just not about love. It is also about communication, trust, and tolerance. I learned a lot about marriage management through this story. In conclusion, marriage life is more complicated just finding our own true love. I really hope that all of you could read this novel during your free time. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Wow, what a beautiful story. Thank you, Shamima, for sharing it with us. I think most of us will be looking forward to read that book. Next, I would like to welcome Nuraina Batrisha Binti Mahathir from PPISMP Semester 1 BMC for a review of the book entitled Psychic by Husna Rosli.
Hello everyone and good morning everyone. Nice to meet you all here today. So, I am Nuraina Batrisha Binti Mahathir from PPISMP Bahasa Melayu C. Alright, so now it's my turn to express my feelings, my thoughts and everything about the book that I'm going to share with you all today. Alright, so today's book review is going to be about Psychic by Husna Rosli. Okay. So, this book was published by a famous publisher company, novel publishing company in Malaysia, Fiksi. Yes, I bet everyone have heard this company. This is an urban and contemporary novel publishing company in Malaysia. Okay, so about this company, I like a lot of the book released by this company because they have a very they use a open-minded and free concept. So I purchased this book last year, 2020, but I just read through again for this special day today. Alright. Actually, this book is an ebook that I purchased online at Google Book for only just 8 ringgit and 71 cents. Yes, it worth its price, but actually you can just read for free at the Wattpad app. Alright. I doesn't prefer to read books in an ebook because since I prefer to read books in the hard copy types, so that you can have a very deep feelings when you read books. Okay, well, that's too much. Alright, so judging from the cover of the book, it's a story about a mental person. But do you guys see there's a girl with a but do everybody see there's a girl with long hair and white gloves on? Yes, it looks very scary because also there's a blood everywhere on the cover and the broken window. That's why I have the idea that this is a story about a mental illness, but it turned out wrong, as because this book theme is actually related to the concept of radical feminism. Yes, but actually if I'm going to say it's going to be far if I'm going to say feminism, because there's a lot of radical elements in this book. Alright, so yes, this is a psychic. This book, Psychic, is a Malay book setting in the dystopian genre. Alright, what is dystopian genre? Okay, for those that didn't know what is dystopian genre is a genre that describes a future imaginary society that is told in a way that is as dehumanizing and unpleasant as possible, or simply I can say is a genre that is the way the author can explain the future imaginary in a radical way. Okay, for actually, to be honest, I am really interested in the concept of the author using the concept of psychic in the book, in this book. Whenever I look at the title, whenever I see the title, the word psychics there, I thought that psychic means psycho, but actually it's not wrong, as Yes, I was wrong again because previously I read an article. I read an article where the author explains the true meaning of the psychics herself from the Husna Rusli. Psychic is related to the main character power, superpower. That the main character allows her to travel to the past or present in order to see through and revisit any painful events that have been experienced by a person's body or the dead body in the story. Alright. About this novel, can everybody imagine if in the future of the government in Malaysia changed and the name of Malaysia itself changed into Kaiser, a radical and extreme modern way, and the name Kaiser. In this novel, the authors imagine that will be a lot of violence and pollution going on in the country. The female population is declining due to the crimes committed by the men. In this novel, our country, Malaysia, use the presidential systems of government to rule our country. There are various. Also, there's the first key point that highlighted in this novel is the women. There are very significant social class differences between women and men. And the second key point in this novel that highlighted is the woman's power. Why is it woman's power that highlighted? Yes, like I said before, this has an element of feminism, but it is radical feminism. Okay. Women in the story, women will have a very high status. They be presidents, they can be a prime minister, they can be leader of the government and everything. They can be a leader. There's no man in the government. And as for men, if a mother gives birth to a son, he will be separated from his mother and will be brought up in a special situation to train them to be hypers and companion, or also they can be a subordinate soldiers. They meant in the low class. Don't be surprised, this is just a story in the novel. So more drastically, what happened in the novel is, if men are found to have committed offenses, like if they do such a rape or a murder, they will punish in public in an extreme way. Alright, so next so I'm going to talk about the protagonist or the main character in this novel, named Elina. Yes, she is a girl. She is a Danish girl raised by President Qamarina. President Qamarina is the president of the country Kaiser. Okay, so Elina studied at Institute Cahaya, where the girls and boys cannot be educated in the same place. In her school, in the girls' school, there Institute Cahaya, they are thought to be helpful towards men, they are to hurt men, and also they are thought to dehumanize men. That's very interesting in the beginning of the story, whereas Elina is portrayed to be so perfect. She has everything she owes money, she owes power, everything she owes. But something happened later that changed 360 degree in her life. Everything will change. She at the low position. There's no President Qamarina to help her. There's nobody to help her. She's alone at the last moment. as soon as she realized that the strange thing happening in the current government system, because there is she realized that the injustice done by the her stepmother, President Qamarina. Alright, so I'm going to share with you the best thing that I feel when I read this book. Alright, the best thing inside in this novel, Psychic, is the presence of fantasy elements. When when I first started reading this novel, there was smell feeling like you are watching the Hunger Games. You know, watching the Hunger Game is a Hunger Game movie is a thriller movie, English thriller movie. Because in this novel there's a scene where men are sentenced to death in front of everyone by using the guillotine. There's a mission to cut the people's heads. It's very scary when you can play around with your fantasies there. Right. Yes, the advantage if you read this novel, this psychic novel, is that you can play around with your fantasies, and everything would be like you watch a film. But I do not want to be a spoiler for some of you who have not reading this incredible book. So I really urge you to read it. All right. So I want to give a shout out to the author, Husna Rusli, because she is one of my big inspirations. I read this 10 out of 10. And lastly, I would like to say that I do not condone this sort of ideology portrayed in this book, because it's very radical. Humans are supposed to be treated equally, whether you're a woman or a man. We have to be respectful to be respected. Thank you.
Thanks, Alia, for sharing the summary of the book with us. Now, let us hear from Encik Muhammad Idris bin Said Ahmed from the Department of Physical Education and Health to deliver his review on the book entitled Born in the Blackness, Africa, Africans, and the Making of the Modern World 1471 to the Second World War by Howard Waring French.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Thank you, Ms. Chairperson, and a very good view from our IPG Campus Perlis for recognizing this book review as an activities to all of us to improve our English. Well, without hesitation, I would like to give a book review of what I have read. The title is Born in Blackness, Africa, Africans, and the Making of the Modern World, 1471 to the Second World War, published by Leverright. The author is Howard W. France. This book really reframes my understanding of world history. We look at the history all about American, European, and East Asia. But that's not true. What about Africa? How many of us knows what happened in Africa during the blackness? Well, we can see here, traditionally, the making of the modern world afford a place of primacy to European history. We learn about European history British, Spain, Portuguese. We can just remember some credit we give to the 15th century age of discovery and the maritime connection it established between West and East only. The way we think about history is entirely wrong, because according to the French, at the start of this magnificent, powerful and absorbing books, highlight that Africa is important. The problem is not just that the people and culture of Africa have been ignored and left to one side. Rather, that they have been so miscast that the story of the global past has become part of a profound mistelling. We believe the Western civilization try to pretend African history in the world is not important. However, now, through this book, the truth prevail. It started with the conquest of the Portuguese, especially in the Western African nation, that is Congo, Nigeria, Liberia and Ghana. And most of us didn't know the history about this country. Well, it starts with the ship from the Prince Henry the Navigator, the Portuguese. At first, they are not trying to go to Western Africa at first. Then they discovered there are abundance of gold there. They started not to conquer but trading with this African country. They start trading the mine, the steel from the European with this country. And this is the start of the new world actually, where the problem started for Africa. Now it all started with the age of discovery in the 1471. That's why the books tell 1471 years is very important for the whole history, not only for the African but also to the world. The creation of the multiple European empires stretching across continent did not come from the yearning for ties with Asia that we believe. They come for the spices, they come for the herbs in East Asia, including Malacca. Remember? But from a centuries-old desire to forge trading ties with legendary rich black society. Yes, African is actually a modern world already, even before the Portuguese came to their countries. They have a huge quantities of gold and an exhaustible source of labor. Now, remember, this is where the years 15th centuries, the slavery started become a world trading. Now, we look at the slave trading in this book narrated by the Howard France. The most important consequences were for the people of Africa. The scale of human suffering that followed. Remember Christopher Columbus? We always recognize Christopher Columbus. What about Bartolomeu Dias, the Portuguese? Vasco da Gama, and we all only know Malacca conquered by who? Who? Anybody? I only remember Albuquerque. Yeah, That is 1511. The Portuguese conquer Malacca. Now we lost the trace how the Portuguese far away from our countries can travel and conquer Malacca. Now it all started with this slave trading. The scale of human suffering that follow Columbus crossing the Atlantic is almost impossible to conceive, let alone describe modern consensus from 1471 until the World War II, the modern age. Around 12 million were put on slave ship in appalling condition. They are opposed to the hunger, diseases, and being quarantined before working in the plantation. Nothing to do about conquering for gold. So the slave become a world trade after this. Now what is the effect of this slavery? This slavery lead to the fragmentation, fracture, and warfare fueled by weapons supplied by the Western civilization. Above all, guns that were sold by European, forcing neighboring states in Africa to compete with and turn on one another in an attempt to defend their own population from being carted away as a slave. And this is happening now, still happening now. Whose war and who is the supplier of the arms right now? Think carefully and look back at the history of Africa. I think that's all about these books. I would like to tell a little bit about this author. The author tried to give a view on how and why Africa and its people histories have been ignored, showing how the exploitation of the Americans and the Caribbean brought ecological dividends that reshape the world now. Even we know the coffee, but which came is from the suffering of the slavery, working in the plantation non-stop, and that's how we got coffee. Even we like to go to Cameron Highland, watching the tea plantation. So looking back, and you must remember that thing in the past is what shaped the world now in Malaysia. Now he is also a professor of journalism at Columbia University right now, and before that he was a journalist with the New York Times. Born to African and American parents, once lived in Western Africa, China, Korea, and Japan. And this is what he has been done. As an author, we should travel abroad to find a point of view of our own. This is what all these IPG students should do. Go outside, make changes. Don't wait for things to happen. Okay, last but not least is about my own opinion about this book. This history of slavery, I believe, led by the Portugal first, was a model for other great powers during the 15th century age, such as Spain, France, and Britain, to have a slave in their plantation, especially cotton. What else? Corn. Even in US, we believe that US is a new world discovered by Christopher Columbus, but it's not true. No, this book really changed my mind. The slave working in the plantation there, making a lot of money for commodities economies, but who is profiting now? Who? Okay, so this US, we believe that become a great nation because of the migrates of the European people to the US is not true. It's before that the slave from the African Western African especially are the one that discover the new world of US. And I also did not believe that all this Western civilization came here to East Asia just to trade herbs and spice with the Malacca. Even we have the Majapahit in Indonesia and Cambodia in the near the East Asian country, and even Japan. They are hiding this behind for the secret to get the wealth and take out this wealth from those countries, including us. And 1471 is the turning point. It's not the Christopher Columbus discover America is a turning point. So it's not, if not for the slavery, America will not become a new world. The European will not migrate to the new world unless they have been told there are many gold rush. Actually, there is no gold rush there. It's not started as a land of opportunity. About US, it's a slave country. It's a fact. That's all my point, and thank you for listening to me.
Such a wonderful story, Encik Idris. Thank you for sharing with us. And the best thing about reading is reading gives us some place to go where we have to stay where we are. We have come to the end of the first session. So sit back and relax. Let's watch a performance by the IP committee members. Enjoy!
Has read a book entitled Robinson Crusoe last week, and she found out that book was really interesting. Now, she wants to share her thought about this book with her best friend Husna. So, let us check out their conversation together.
How are you?
I'm fine, Najwa. What about you?
I'm great.
So, have you read any new book in this week?
Yeah, I have read Robinson Crusoe.
Who is the writer of this book?
Daniel is the writer. He is very famous novelist and written lots of amazing books.
How was the book? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I enjoyed it a lot. It is one of the most interesting books I have ever read in my life.
Oh, really? Can you share a few words from there? What is it all about?
It is about a person named Robinson who spent 28 years on an island lonely.
Oh, OMG, it seems so much adventurous.
Yes, it is. His ship faced a huge storm and he fortunately survived and found him on the island lonely, and he started spending his life there.
How did he survive?
He did a lot of hard work, and that person was so much dedicated. This book is inspiring too.
Then, was he able to get back from the island to his country?
Yeah, he got back after 28 years with the help of a person named Friday.
Who's Friday?
Friday was a person who was a victim of man-eaters, and Robinson saved him from that man. And then Friday became his servant and started to live with him.
Oh, I need to read this book. Do you still have it?
There, I have. Do you want it?
Yes, I want.
Okay, I will bring that book with me tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Nadhirah.
You are welcome, Husna. I am so happy to know that you also like to read a book.
Of course, I love to read a book. Do you know that by reading a book can help in your self-improvement? Reading helps you develop positive thinking, and reading is important because it develops your mind and gives you excessive knowledge and lessons of life. It helps you to understand the world around you better. It also keeps your mind active and enhances your creative ability.
Oh, yes, I am super agreed with you. For me, reading a book can help to improve my communication skill. Reading also improves my vocabulary, and it helps me to learn how to use language creatively. Not only does it improve my communication, but it also makes me a better writer. Good communication is important in every aspect of life. Have you heard about the more you read, the more you know. The more you know, the smarter you grow. The smarter you grow, the stronger your voice when speaking your mind or making your choice.
Wow, I learned something new today. Thank you so much, Najwa.
You are welcome, Husna.
Johnny, yes, Papa. Are you reading? Yes, Papa. Telling lies? No, Papa. Where's the proof? Here, Papa. Johnny, yes, Papa. Are you writing? Yes, Papa. Telling lies? No, Papa. Where's the proof? Here, Papa. Johnny, yes, Papa. Are you counting? Yes, Papa. Telling lies? No, Papa. Where's the proof? Here, Papa. Johnny, yes, Papa. Are you drawing? Yes, Papa. Telling lies? No, Papa. Where's the proof? Here, Papa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day. My name is Zafrie Binti Anis,
And my name is Jaslyn Kaur, anak perempuan Bakri Singbat. We are going to perform a poem entitled Read a Book. If loneliness ever comes calling, or a feeling down on your luck, here's a remedy that's sure to cure. You should go and read a book. If you've been climbing a mountain, but then find that you've got stuck, whatever you do, don't panic. It's a chance to read a book. If you have run out of inspiration and you don't know what to cook, forget about it completely and go and read a book. If you're having a night on the town and want to strike the right look to impress your fellow clubbers, just sit and read a book. That's all from us. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Jauriyah Binti Mat Azali, the Head of Department of Science Education, to share her review on the book entitled The Good Research Guide by Martin Discombe.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. Hi everybody. Actually, first of all, I would like to thank you for the English unit department for this session, read and share. Today, I wanted to share regarding the good research guide book for small scale social research project. It is a 4th edition, okay, by Professor Martin Discombe. This book printed by Open University Press UK by McGraw-Hill. Okay, actually the best point of this book is the book is a best-selling introductory book on the basic of social research. It provides practical and straightforward guidance for those who need to conduct a small-scale research project as part of the undergraduate, postgraduate or professional studies. It also covers all the major issues and concerns from start till finish. Okay, it consists of 4 parts actually, 3 parts and 1 extended part from previous edition. So part 1 is content overview about survey and sampling. It discuss about why should do survey and how many respondents or sampling. Okay, and then the case studies, experiments, ethnography, phenomenology, grounded theory, action research, and also mixed methods. Okay, and then the part 2 consists of method of social research. Okay, it is about questionnaires, interviews, observation, and documents. The best part of this part 2 is tell you more about how to do, what you need to do, questionnaires and interviews, observation and document, and it also consists of sample of doing these methods. And it is in simple words, no more jargon, so it's help you more to understand what you should do regarding the method of social research. Okay, part 3 is on analysis. It consists of quantitative data, how to analyze quantitative data, qualitative data, and how to write up the research. It gives you guide, and I feel this part is really help in doing research and writing the research. Okay, and also the part 3 is actually consists about frequently asked question. It's about research ethics, what you should do when you before, during and after research. Okay, and the ethics of the research. And the second one is online, regarding to how you need to protect your data, and also how you need to really need some privacy from data from your respondent when you do online. And then also about triangulation data, and also triangulation of method. It discuss more about how to do how you need to triangulate data and the triangulate the method. Okay, and then number 4 from frequently asked question is about focus group. It discuss more on this extended chapter. Actually, before in third edition is only 3 parts, but for this 4th edition, actually for this book, it consists of extended on frequently asked question as one of part or subchapter of the books. Okay, since actually this book is in our resource center, I do find one, and this I consider as the simple and the guide very I think very benefit to us as a academician, as a teacher, because the writers or the author also come from education background, and he first become a teacher, and then he did more on research, and more books on research he has put in Amazon bookstore, and also in some of the article review. Okay, and then benefit of this book, okay, systematics, figuring out what inspire you as a reminder that you can do things in life that you want to do. And then also language, as I told just now, is easy to understand, no jargon words, improve self, more knowledgeable and skill in something that can increase our self-confidence. So finally, I also recommended for those who need the basic knowledge and skill guide for research project should have one with them. So I promote this book actually. So this you can find from our research center. You can find from Red Spot. Okay. So last but not least, share. You can share this book also with your friends, and also for undergraduate during your action research project, you can use this one also. More benefit and knowledgeable. Okay, so that's all for read and share this book, and I hope you can enjoy yourself. Okay, bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for the informational review on the research guide. Next, let's pay attention to Muhammad Zafrie Danial from Pismp Semester 2 RBT for his review on the book Sing to the Dawn by Min Fong Ho.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi and good morning everyone. My name is Muhammad Zafrie Danial bin Aleh, and I am a representative from Pismp Reka Bentuk dan Teknologi A. Now I will present my book review. I had chosen Sing to the Dawn by Min Fong Ho for my book review. I read this novel when I was in Form 5 for my English literature. So generally, this book is about gender inequality and the importance of education. Now, I would like to share with you the synopsis of this novel. The story of Sing to the Dawn revolves around a 14-year-old Thai girl named Dawan and her struggles to prove her worth in an anti-feministic village. After winning a scholarship to further her studies at the city, Dawan faces much oppression from her father, who forbids her from claiming it. Additionally, she also faces resentment and pressure from her brother to surrender her scholarship to him. However, this only sharpens her resolution to claim her right to a better education at the city. Soon, she gains the support of her mother and grandmother as well as a few others. After long perseverance, her father finally relents and grants her the permissions to leave. Now, let's take a look about the main characters in this novel. There are two main characters in this novel. First, we got Dawan, who is very enthusiastic and vibrant. She is full of teenage energy in wanting to grasp at life. I would like to describe Dawan first. She is a very clever girl because she managed to win the scholarship, and she is also a determined person because she dares to stand up for herself, to defend her ideas, to further her study in the big city and change the village's life. And lastly, she is also a loving sister, and we can see it clearly when she struggled to pass her umbrella to her beloved brother during the heavy rain, despite they were arguing. Next, we got Kwai, who has a good relationship with his sister and enjoys watching the sunrise with her. For Kwai, I think I can call him a clever student too, because he comes second after his sister for the scholarship, and he is also a very principled boy because he stopped fighting for the scholarship with his sister because he realized that it is his sister's right to claim the scholarship. And lastly, He is also a loving brother because he stands up against his father to allow his sister to attend the school with him, so his sister can get a proper education just like him. After reading this novel, I conclude that this story has stated some general issues in our society and a lot of moral values. First of all, this is a story about a society that is prejudiced against gender roles. In the small village where Dawan lived with her family, the society has low regard for women and refuse to recognize them as having any status higher than that of a housewife or peddler. As a result, it is frowned upon to educate their daughters because it is thought to be a waste of time. The next issue is the unfair exploitation of the villagers by an unjust system. Landlords impose high taxes on the villagers, forcing them to give out the majority of their harvest. As a result, the villagers are barely able to fend for themselves throughout the year. However, they have no control over the vicious cycle of exploitation in which they are forced to participate. The landlord can profit multiple times over through the system, while the villagers continue to work indefinitely. Next, the moral values I took away from this story are, first and foremost, the family ties. Even though Dawan and Kwai were arguing, they still took care of each other. This is a proof that nothing can break the siblings' love. Next, the most important one is education as a fulcrum to progression. And last but not least, keep an open mind when it comes to change. Next, the complaint about this novel. There are not many things to complain about in this book. However, I guess, although Sing to the Dawn addresses some important issues, like girls not having the opportunity to study or further their studies, I personally feel that Sing to the Dawn is simply too superficial. Why? Because it addresses the issues the main character, Dawan, faced in a highly immature way and does not seem to view things beyond the surface, which adds to my impression that the book is superficial. Even though I understand that the main character is supposed to be fighting for her rights, girls' rights, to use the scholarship to study in the big city, the way that Dawan carries herself, in a manner and otherwise, only strike me as an immature girl who is simply being selfish and only wants to use the scholarship to deliberately spite Kwan, her brother, as her father had high hopes for him. Overall, I enjoy reading it, so I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And this book is not a book I would normally choose to read, but it was something I enjoyed reading with my teacher and friends during high school. However, this is a simple book to read and easy to understand. That's all from me. Thank you.
Much thanks to Muhammad Zafrie for the review just now. Now, I would like to welcome Nabila Sufyah binti Muhammad Zaki from Pismp Semester 2 Tesl B. She is going to review the book entitled Pumpkin Heads by Rainbow Rowell.
Alright, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Nabila Sufyah binti Muhammad Zaki and I am from Pismp Tesl B. So today I will be reviewing the book entitled Pumpkin Heads. So before I start my book review, I will read a quote. That's the thing about books. They let you travel without moving your feet. By Jhumpa Lahiri. She is an American writer. So as you can see, I highlight travel because when I read this book, I felt I was traveling to America during the season of autumn. So if you look at the book cover. This graphic novel is by the famous author Rainbow Rowell. She wrote a famous young adult novel which is Fangirl, and since this is a graphic novel, Faith Erin Hicks is the illustrationist for this graphic novel. So let me tell you a bit about the story. So as you can see at the cover, again, there is two characters named Deja, the girl, and Josiah, the boy. So every year they are working as part-time at a patch. A patch is like a park where you can have many activities that are only available during the autumn season. So they have been working together for 3 straight years, and it is their last year working at the part-time job at the patch before they start readying themselves to their college with their own separate ways. So the characters, okay, Josiah and Deja. So let me tell you a bit about their characters. Josiah is like a nerdy and naive boy, while Deja is the popular and sociable girl. So I like both of these characters because with their both of their personality contradicts each other, which makes a beautiful chemistry between these best friends. So next, what I love about the book. So this will be a little bit spoiler for the book. So I like the pacing of the book. The story was written in just 17 chapters to tell the whole story about Deja and Josiah. And I like the visuals since it is a graphic novel. The visuals is the visual in the graphic novel is very beautiful and vibrant, and it has vibrant colors that attracted me to read more throughout the book. And then next, the characters. Again, I love the characters Deja and Josiah. And then lastly, the funny moments. The funny moments from the books attracted me to turn the page more and finish the book faster to know the whole story and finish the book as fast as I can. And then next, what I learned from the book. So firstly, what I learned is the power of friendship. The power of friendship between Deja and Josiah. Even though they only met at the patch, they have a strong bond throughout those 3 years. And this book also shows that I should be grateful and I should cherish my friendship with my friends and the relationship with the people around me. And then next, follow your heart alongside your wits. So in this life, there are many decisions, and sometimes people would say follow your heart, and sometimes people would say follow your wits. But to me, you have to have both of them to make a true decision that you will not regret and forever. Next, appreciate the little things. Appreciate the little things. Why I say appreciate the little things? Since this is the last year, Josiah and Deja will be working together at the patch. They started on their own little adventure around the patch, so that it will be a beautiful closing for both of them, as it is their last year working at the patch after 3 years. And then lastly, don't judge a book by its cover. Okay, so don't judge a book by its cover is, in the book, Josiah has a crush on a girl, but he only liked her from afar. So he didn't know more. He didn't know closely. And then when he finally gets to meet her, actually the girl was not to his liking at all. But actually, after all this while, he actually likes someone else. And if you want to know who that is, you have to read the book. And then the rating. Of course, every book we have to rate after reading it. So I will give it 5 out of 5 stars because the visual, the story, the characters, I love all of them. And I did recommend to 3 of my friends. 2 of my friends rated it 4 out of 5, and one more of my friend rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I would recommend this book to maybe comic lovers, manga lovers, and then people who wanted to start reading, and then lastly, people who want to read a fluffy and short story. And this book can be read in one sitting because it is a graphic novel. So before I end my review, I have one more quote to read. Show me a family of readers, and I will show you the people who move the world, by Napoleon Bonaparte. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabila. And I know it is such a wonderful friendship story as I already read the Pumpkinhead's book. So next, let us welcome the last presenter, Nur Afiqah Amni Binti Roslan from PPISMP Semester 1 Music C to review the book she read, How to Be a Genius by Cikgu Kamil.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. I am Nur Afiqah Amni Binti Roslan, representative from Music Class C. Today, I'm going to review about the book that I have read during my motivation camp. This book is good for those who have problem with low esteem. The title is How to Be a Genius, written by Teacher Kamil, the founder of Superneuron. It published by Group Buku Karangcraft. This book had 218 pages. Synopsis. This is a motivation book for a school student. This book explains to the reader how they can become geniuses themselves. The process to become genius does not only require the student hard work but also their parents. The parents should give a positive compliment to their children to make their positive environment. In this book, there is some practice to train our brain. There is also an explanation of how to create a mind map. By using a mind map, our study will become easier. This book also taught us some stories about how the power of belief can change someone's life. In the chapter 3 of the book, it also explains what good food is for our brain. This book also has tips on how to memorize numbers and sentence easier. What good about this book? I only have 2 good points about this book based on what I read, but there is many good points about this book, so you can read it if you want to know. The first thing that I feel good about after reading this book is the power of belief. From this book, I got to know the power of belief. This power is really important to make a change in our life. If you believe you are smart and study smart, you will become smart. But if you believe you are dumb and do nothing to change it, it will lead you to failure. I have one story that I read inside the books about Adam Khoo. Adam Khoo also changed his future because of the power of belief. Adam originally a kid who hates studying and addicted to video games. When he was in primary school, he is a dumb or not clever student in his school. Also, when he was in a primary school, he got expelled a few times, and he changed to a new school after and after and after. When he need to go to high school, there's no high school want to accept him. But at the end, there is school that accept him. But he not change his habit and lifestyle from addicted to game videos. But at the end, he was originally a kid where studying and video games become a successful person because he believed he can have a better future and change his lifestyle habits from negative to positive. Now, Adam become a Singaporean entrepreneur, author and educator. He is the co-founder of Chief Master Trainer of Adam Co Learning Technologies Group, one of the Asia's largest private educational institution. The second things I think is good about this book is study smart is good than hard. We should study smart using our method instead study hard but not understanding the thing we study. From this book, I know the importance of the study smart instead of studying hard. Studying smart will make it easier to understand and remember what we study, and it gives less pressure on the student when studying. When study hard, students keep trying to push themselves to remember what they are studying. This will give pressure and stress. Stress can lead to health problems. About the Adam Co story, I don't want to tell you the full story because I want you read it. You can read this book by purchase it at Google Play Store, or you can buy it at the bookstore. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the review, Afika. I will definitely look forward to read the book. We have come to the end of the program. Thank you so much for being with us. It is hoped that this program will inspire us to read more books in the future because reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. Thank you and have a pleasant day. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.